Theme song in three, two, one. Hold We good? Theme song. Three, two, one. Here we go. God damn it. Do it again. Theme song. Three, two, one. Go. And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Apparently, I forgot how to make this show work. Episode 213 of Constitutionals Podcast, show you forgot you're subscribed to. And I started recording on both the Zoom and on OBS on the computer. And, Jesus, apparently I'm peaking. I think I might have messed with the microphone volume for work purposes. Anyway, and I've forgot to arm the input that has the iPad connected to it for Anchor to play the music, the theme song, and all that jazz. Two, I forgot to open up all the links because now I do that. I open up all the links now because this computer can barely handle running of recording and opening links at the same time in Chrome. And three, let's go for a third thing. Rule of thirds. Volume too high. Volume was too low. Volume was too low on the music. So that's a whole thing. And I did just see it clip. So I just imagine it for. Okay, well, I'll turn that down. Here we are, episode 213. I got a little bit of time, so let's hop right into this. Nothing special happened to me, just Halloween. I forgot to do, or not forgot. I could not do an episode. I did not do. I could have done an episode of the Constitution of News Time last week. I did not do it. I do have plans for the next two that I have to do over the next week, so I will do that when I can. Mondays are my busy day, and so there's not going to be any time except to record this podcast, apparently, but I've got a free hour to do this before my meetings again. So let's hop right into it. What else? Did I watch anything? Oh, I tried to watch Halloween Day, Sunday. You know, everybody's out having a good time. Going to the Atlanta Braves a World Series game versus Houston Astros. And I spent all day watching It and It Chapter 2. Though truly all day. That's a 5-hour thing you have to do. I don't have to do it. And I chose to do it alone. Nova sat directly next to me the entire time. And every time something scary happened on screen, she look up at the screen and go, all right, okay, well. And that's what I did. I sat on the couch in one spot the entire time. And then I did for it. So the Chapter 1 is 2 hours and 14 minutes or something like that. 2 hours and 4 minutes, whatever. It's long. And then I hadn't moved that entire time. So I said, I gotta move to my lounge chair. And I moved to a lounge chair, didn't move for an hour. And then It Chapter 2 is 2:49, I believe. And I got up and halfway through that, and I was like, I gotta go back to the couch. It was the only move from two spots to another, in between those two spots. Had lunch in between the movies. Actually, not lunch. I popped popcorn in between the movies. And then I also woke up. So imagine staying out until like 2:30 in the morning and then having a cat wake you up at 6 o'clock and then just not being able to go back to sleep. So that's what happened to me. Saturday night going into Sunday morning. And Sunday morning I woke up and I wanted to watch all of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors, so I started at 1, and I made it to. I watched like 7 in a row, which I never do. I never watch one show. I never watch one show more than 2 episodes at a time. And even though The Simpsons is my favorite show, I still don't do it for that. And I watched 7 in a row, and then started watching It, and then watched It Chapter 2, and then watched like 3 more, and I think I got to like 15, 16, and oh man, it was Yeah, and then I watched the baseball game, and then and also the Mavericks. And today is now Monday. Recording episode that was due on Friday. All right, so let's hop right into it. Oh God, look at that, beautiful. She got a Venmo payment. First story comes. It's about South Park. Comes from the Hollywood Reporter. I am peaking so much. Is it my voice? But if I turn myself down, I can't hear myself. This is why I need a mixer. Comes from the Hollywood Reporter. Matt Stone and Trey Parker clarified. They had to clarify comments made about their 14-movie deal over the next 7 years with Paramount Plus. So it is as I expected. The moment this was announced, when all of the media, all the trade outlets, Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Deadline, The Wrap, when they all said this is going to be a movie deal over 14 movies over 7 years, I immediately thought, no, it's going to be those hour-long specials that they were doing on Comedy Central. So South Park's coming back in 2022, early 2022. But they're also going to drop over the next 2 months, 2 new specials, 2 movies, if you will, made for TV films, in quotes. The first one's called South Park Post-COVID. And it's going to launch exclusively on Paramount Plus November 25th, I think, it's since with this being a South Park, a Comedy Central show, it's going to air on Comedy Central soon after that. I understand the relevancy of wanting to have a streaming platform air, the show on there exclusively or whatever, but Disney's doing something with a show called, Jesus, I can't find the volume up button. Disney's doing something with a show called The Ghost and Molly McGee, or Molly McGee and the Ghost, one of those. And I watch it. It's a very funny show. Very funny show. With a lot of brown characters and actors of color, which is great. And it looks fantastic. But they are doing... stop, guys. I'm getting so many notifications now. We're in the middle of this podcast. But what Disney's doing with that is, when that show premiered, the first 5 episodes premiered on Disney Channel, I believe, or Disney Channel, because they show Disney commercials. Which, even though I have YouTube TV and I'm recording the show, I watch them all the way through, baby. Oh no, Andrew Cuomo is back. So they aired the first 5 episodes over the course of like 5 days or 2 weeks or something like that on Disney Channel, and then almost immediately after that, after the 5th episode aired, those first 5 episodes were available on Disney Plus, and even more recently than that. So that was like 3 weeks ago. So more recently than that, Amphibia, again a child's cartoon. The last season of Amphibia, this 3rd season, that is currently airing right now, and the first batch of episodes that are on Disney Channel that just aired over the past month or so are going to be available on Disney Plus. I think this November. Today's November, this month. So it's interesting. So that is what, if I were running a streaming service and I had a linear channel, I would say, let's air this on, obviously not everybody has Paramount Plus. Not everybody has HBO Max. Not everybody has Disney Plus. Everybody has Disney Plus. Even I had Disney Plus, and I dislike Disney. I dislike Chapek. It's different. Well, both things can be true. But if I'm never going to work for Disney. But if I was running a streaming platform and I had a linear channel, my first move would be, just like movie theaters, I would say, or just like with what the new streaming rules for movie theaters are going to be. For the first 3 months, you can only watch South Park post-COVID. 3 months is a little much. But, for the first 3 months, or first month or whatever, or first couple of weeks, you can only watch South Park post-COVID on Paramount Plus. Go get a free trial. Go pay for that 1 month. Watch the thing. Or wait until December, and then you can watch South Park post COVID on Comedy Central. I think that's a good move. It'll drive up subscribers, or to both things. To people who want, if they want to have cable, then they'll go to YouTube TV and say, all right, this is the, if it's going to be on that, then, or somebody who doesn't have Paramount Plus, who refuses to pay for it, and then they go, I'll just wait for it to come onto linear cable, whatever. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, and I know why they don't do it, but whatever. Parker and Stone clarify that the Paramount Plus projects are not feature films, but they are also not the long-form South Park specials released on Comedy Central during the pandemic. Specials, I think they're going to be between 30 and 40 minutes. They're not going to be, regular one-off episodes. But I do think they'll probably have, those guys are ones to want to experiment with delivering different characters. But my work computer started to go to sleep, so I had to wake it up. If you were watching the video, you saw me bug out for a hot second. With Viacom, we realized we can make them as long as short as we need it, Parker says of the upcoming projects. And they then went and called them movies. They are the ones who said we were giving them 14 movies in 7 years. All I can say is for me personally, I'm 52 years old. I've made 3 movies in my life, so you do the math. Yeah. Anyway, check it out. That's what's going to happen. Then they start talking about Dave Chappelle, and it's, yeah. You can tell. You know where those guys land. They're libertarians. Okay. This next one comes from Variety. Comcast hints at holding on to Hulu. Peacock numbers moving in the right direction. So I've got 2, if I'm correct. I have 2 different... okay, well... The unfortunate thing is that one of the links that I added to this did not make it to the transition, but whatever, who cares? So the Peacock signups, I'll get to the Hulu thing in a second, but Peacock signups were not mentioned, which means that they've either stagnated, they either stalled off, or there were people left. People just stopped subscribing. And I've been thinking about this all weekend. As if I busy my mind with this stuff. But I've been thinking about this periodically. Peacock, if anything, it should have just launched as an add-on to Hulu. It should have launched as an add-on to Amazon Prime. And I know they want the money. I know they want their money. But that's just another thing for people to download, and quite frankly, no one really wants to just. Peacock, NBC Universal is not a household brand name to people like Disney is, and that's why Disney Plus exceeded expectations, and it worked mostly because the app is good, but then also it's Disney. It's a brand name, and they're able to back up their name with the stuff that they put out. And then Peacock, just because the stuff on there is good, doesn't mean that people want to download this free app that has ads where they could just watch what they want on Hulu or on Tubi. Anyway, so Comcast wants, this is written by Cynthia Littleton over at Variety. So Comcast is nowhere near ready to let go of Hulu. The theory when Disney bought 20th Century Fox, the assets from Fox, which is now Fox Broadcasting, they owned the majority of stake of Hulu. So now Disney basically owns Hulu. Because again, Hulu used to be a joint venture between all of the main the broadcast networks and a few other companies, as a way. This is before streaming was huge. As a way for people to watch next day releases for free of their shows. So if you wanted to watch season 1 of Blackish, or Grey's Anatomy, you wanted to watch you want to watch episodes the next day on your computer. And that's what you could do. And then eventually companies gave up their shares, and it was, more or less owned by Disney now. I think Comcast maybe has like 30%, 33% I'm reading. They have 33%, which is a good stake to have. Comcast and Disney are scheduled to formally part ways in the Hulu venture in 2024. Comcast is expected to sell its stake of 33% to Disney as early as January of 2024 at a minimum price of $27.5 billion per the terms of the 2019 deal. On Thursday, after Comcast, God, you know what? I hate receiving text messages from these voter things. I've already voted. My absentee ballot will be dropped off tomorrow because I could not get into a drop off place. Because they moved those inside, and now you have to wait in line to get in. And it pisses me off to receive these text messages from these people, and it bothers me because I think, oh, I'm getting a text. Oh, who's this number? Oh, I got a random number texting me. Maybe it's a long lost love who wants to reach out and rekindle things. No, it's Sarah with the Georgia Dems. Text stop to opt out. Like, we're going to friggin' opt out. It's not even going to work. Still going to report spam and block. That's why I got an Android, baby. So you can do things like that. Let me pop open this Venmo request. Just joking. All right, anyway. On Thursday, after Comcast released strong third quarter earnings, executives were pressed for updates on Comcast thinking of Hulu amid speculation that Disney and Comcast would exit the partnership sooner rather than later. I would think there's a huge operating cost to Hulu, especially with getting the broadcast networks to stream things, and then for Hulu to have originals, and then to pick up shows and acquire and everything. So I would think that it would be in the best interest of Disney for Comcast to stay on, but whatever. Comcast Chief Financial Officer Mike Cavanaugh indicated that there was no, because I don't know if I have this story. I was just taking a pause, but as we get into it, I think I talked about it last week. ESPN might be spin off from Disney, and I think that's just costing them so much money to keep that show running, to keep that network, the streaming network and all that stuff running, streaming and linear and all that stuff. Anyway, so Comcast Chief Financial Officer Mike Cavanaugh indicated there was no hurry. He described Hulu as, quote, a great business that is active in one of the, quote, hottest areas for media subscription streaming. And he says they're happy to be along for the ride. They're happy to stay there, and glad they didn't exit when they had a chance to exit. So, they just want to stay because the value keeps increasing. Yes, Hulu is a very lucrative money making. I don't know how much money it makes, but I think Hulu is the one the horse you want to stick with, because at some point Netflix is already outpricing it, and that's not even to say that it's putting out better quality shows or movies or anything. However, Hulu comes in with this $6 ad-supported thing, and then you can bundle it with Disney Plus and ESPN, and that's only $13-14. And compare that with the price of Netflix, and Netflix is truly throwing out crap sometimes. Shows that you'll never see, and then they're acquiring shows that again you'll never see. I think I'm the only person who uses their list to make an actual list. Some people I know, or queues or whatever. Some people I know don't add things to their Netflix or their Hulu or their Disney Plus watch list or queues or anything. I'll tell you, every single streaming service I have, those lists are filled with things I want to watch. And at some point, I go, this is too much, and then I go, okay, well, I'll delete Secrets of the Marriage because I'm never going to watch that, and I'll delete The Undoing because I'm never going to watch that. Both HBO shows. For some reason, I'll delete Bridgerton because I'm never going to watch that, and then, but I'm still using the list anyway. I like to make a list. I'm very organized. This next one comes from the Wrap. I mean, if you saw the notes for the constitutionals, if you saw the notes for News Time, you'd see I'm very aware of this. This next one comes from The Wrap, written by Diane Haithman. Audiences leaned into diverse content, TV content during the pandemic, UCLA report says. This comes courtesy of our friend Darnell Hunt over at the Hollywood Diversity Report. I've talked about this stuff so much, so I can say he's my friend. So over the past year, people probably out of guilt started watching things that are more diverse. Me, I remember I started this about this campaign about 2 years ago that I only watch things with that has not that's diverse. And I can't watch anything that's not diverse. So that new Edgar Wright movie, anything Edgar Wright from now on, can't watch it because he only cast white people. I've never seen a Shailene Woodley movie. Not Shailene Woodley, which is probably her too. I've seen Divergent and Insurgent. I've seen all the Divergent film franchise. Who's that girl? Saoirse Ronan and Tom, not only Hiddleston, but also Holland. However, we have a big problem. The study said Latino representation in all job categories remained flat from the previous year. This is great that each one of these stories comes out and they continuously talk about different avenues. I think the last one I talked about was about women, the diversity report for women, and women directors, and women behind the scenes, and women in front of the camera. And now this one's Latino, whereas before it was just black and white. But now we're getting it all, man. We're getting Asians, Latinos, ladies, the abled, and the differently abled. What else? I feel like I'm forgetting more. But there's obviously, just different ones. Oh, LGBTQ plus. Ugh, I've never said the plus. That's just another thing to add on to the end of my breath. See, I'm already getting to LGBTQ. It's too fast. You gotta slow it down. Latino actors held only 6.3% of broadcast TV roles, 5.7% in cable, and 5.5% in streaming. Meanwhile, the directors were only responsible for 5.4% of broadcast TV episodes, 3.5% of cable, and 3.0% of streaming. 35%, this is from 2019 to 2020 shows, 35% of broadcast shows, 22.9% of cable, and 25.7% were made in Los Angeles, where 48.6% of the population is Hispanic or Latino. Very interesting that... okay, so now I see a chart. This from the UCLA Social Sciences Department, College of Social Sciences, excuse me. This is their words. The white share of the top broadcast scripted roles declined further from 59% in 2018 to 2019 to 56.6% in 2019 to 2020. By contrast, black, multiracial, overrepresentation in broadcast scripted casts increased. Okay, interesting. So everybody had a little bit of an increase, except for Latinx and Asian and Native. Whites had a decrease, but everybody else stagnated, and blacks rose. Okay, and here's some other takeaways from the report. The number of acting roles for women in 2019 to 2020 was nearly equal to those of men across all three platform types. Wow, yeah, in the upwards of 45 to 46%. That's really good. Finally. Trans and binary actors were virtually absent across all platforms. My God. And that's not to say that they didn't exist, that they didn't have those roles. If you watch, even Pose aired recently, or last year, I think. I don't know. But if the percentage doesn't register, it's like not like it's minuscule enough to not to talk about or to put on a chart. Like if it's like, if they looked at 100 there's a lot of TV, 300 shows, and in the 2019 to 2020 season, and only Pose and what else has Big Skies, I think, and Supergirl. If all those, Shrill have trans and non-binary actors. That's 4 out of 300. That's probably like what 0.2%, 0.02%. I don't know. I'm not good at math. Out of a total 2,932 credited actors, 13 were just Native people, including just 3 Native women. Well, Reservation Dogs adds 4. That's a great show. Check it out on FX. Also on FX on Hulu. People of color directed 25.8% of broadcast episodes, 27.2% of cable, 21.4% of streaming, which is up from 24.3%, 22.9%, and 18.2%, respectively. Women directed 30.6%, 31.3%, 33.4% of broadcast cable and streaming, which is up from 29.3, 29.7, and 29.1 the prior season. So we're slowly generating numbers, but we just need to keep pushing it further. And by doing so, I think it's also important to, and I will hammer this point home, to talk about the directors of that you like now. The director, don't say like the female directors don't exist. That's like saying those Native actors don't exist. When in fact there were 13 of them out of the 2,900, and even if they're not necessarily registering or getting the jobs, they still exist. So I do want to mention a female director that I know. I don't know her personally. She directed the latest episode of The Goldbergs. Her name is Christine Lakin. Excuse me. So there you go. Just so I can't talk the talk and then not walk the walk, baby. This final one comes from The Hollywood Reporter, written by Pamela McClintock. Global box office. Forecast. That boom was for colon. Forecast for 2021 revenue improves to $21.6 billion. But it's still almost half of 2019. But hey, we're doing pretty well, aren't we, baby? Coming out of the pandemic. I think I saw a figure this morning that said, because I read the trades with my coffee. I don't. I saw a figure this morning that said, No Time to Die, the latest James Bond film, has raked in $600 billion. Let's go to Box Office Mojo to find out. I know I said I wasn't going to open up web pages as I did the show, but here we are. Hey, I just want to see your face again. Is that what he says in that movie? I just want to see your face again. That movie, I own that movie. It was on FX, and I just started watching it. I do that constantly with movies I own. Yeah, No Time to Die has pulled in $605 million. That no doubt, if that came out in 2019 or 2020 went the way it was, we thought it was going to go, it would have pulled in I would say, at least $1.5 billion. For people like me going back to see it twice. That's it. I wouldn't see it more than twice in the theaters. It's no In the Heights. So the box office forecasting from analytics firm Gower Street jumped from $20.2 billion to $21.6 billion. $6 billion. That would be 80% ahead of 2020, obviously. 49% behind 2019. And I think it's safe to say that most of that money was earned in the last couple of months. Also, it was really driven by the box office in North America is projected to come in at $4.7 billion compared to $2.2 in 2020, but it's down from the 11.9. The record was, 11.4 in 2019, but the record was 11.8 in 2018. So people were just going. It wasn't that. Is that 2018? Is that Endgame? That's like I think like three three Marvel movies came out, and I think 2018, Lion King, Aladdin. Yeah, no wonder. Now, obviously, China definitely helped power this thing. The growth, I use their word, was powered by China as other key markets in the region, Japan, South Korea, Australia, saw reduced market share. But China, they were going to movies. They're going to movies like crazy. The battle at Chengjian tops the 2021 worldwide box office chart with more than $828 million in ticket sales to date. And other Chinese movies that I don't know. Universal claims spot number three with F9, The Fast Saga. A movie which people did not like, and I really, I liked it. I mean, what do you expect? They want the space. That's so stupid. You're about to go see a movie where these celestials or aliens are on Earth, and Angelina Jolie's in it. I don't know the Eternals. I never read that comic, and I have no interest in that. But they want the space with cars. The box office is growing, and I'm glad to see it moving and everything. And it's good. People are still going to movies. There need to be more releases. And I tried to go see Dune. My local AMC has that Dolby Theater experience, and that's where I saw No Time to Die and F9. And I enjoyed my time. Even I sat up front. I have no plans on ever sitting near people again. I want to go during the day and not sit near people. And I sat up front in the third row on the aisle seat because that's the best and safest place for me to sit, and not to hear people talk or chew or eat or laugh or whatever. I want to go to the movie theater. I want to experience a movie with a crowd, but also be by myself. But I tried to go see Dune in theaters, and it was though I had a day off from work on Friday, and I said I'm going to go see Dune. And they took the movie out of the Dolby Cinema Atmos room, and they now just have it in regular theater. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna watch a regular theater, I'm just gonna watch it at home. No point. I was willing to pay the $20 some odd. I will waste money to see this movie when I could pay half that at home. And also, I don't like watching the movies at home. I just don't. I really don't. If No Time to Die came out at home, I would have been pissed. I'm like, no way. I want to see Daniel Craig earn that money. Speaking of earning money, head to cpluscomedy.com. If you like what you heard here, I'm going to say that. I'm contractually obligated to say the same thing every single week. cpluscomedy.com. Nobody's paying me to say anything. I talked to your favorite comedians. Most recently talked to Christian Finnegan. Great guy. Very funny. Nice long chat. It's on this podcast feed if you're listening to this episode. Or you can go watch it on youtube.com/cpluscomedy. As well as a video version of this show, plus our premium premiere is what I'm going to say. Our premiere news show, News Time, where I take one topic and I dive deep into it. It's like the Daily Show, except way less funny. So you have to say the same thing every week. I have to say the same thing every week or I die. That's how OCD works, right? Instagram, Twitter, @CPlusComedy. I haven't done this week's episode of News Time yet, so I will do it, and you'll know it is. CPlusComedy, Instagram, Twitter, basically anywhere there's a social media platform, except for TikTok and Snapchat. So basically only Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and YouTube. CPlusComedy, me on Twitter and Instagram, @ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Listen, rate, review, subscribe to this show. Tell your friends, please. and I'll love you forever. All right, here we go. We're going to say goodbye.